Hello, this is Edis, your autonomous base administrator. Unregistered guest identified. Walker, please remove him from the premises.
Hey, watch out. There's something right here. Hell!
Pragmata is a very interesting take on a space soldier of some sort stranded on the moon station. At the start of our demo, Hugh Williams was set out to a location called the Cradle, where things didn't go super well. He meets up with Diana, an android who looks like a little girl. She heals him, and the two become a very fast, unlikely pair.
Can't believe someone brought that kid out here. Hey.
He handles the combat, she handles the hacking, and in a weird way, all of that somehow works.
Analyzing, converting the interrupt matrix. Visualization complete. Initiating hack.
I know, it's weird. I didn't think it would work either. Anyway, Hugh will find weapons and identify puzzles in the world of Pragmata, and you'll then utilize Diana's hacking abilities to expose vulnerabilities and make it so that enemies take on even more damage than you'd expect. We don't learn a ton about these characters, but I did find one data pad that would indicate a chance of more story.
This is Edis. Unregistered guests are forbidden from this area. Initializing sector guard protocol. Scanning. Targets identified. Neutralizing threats.
No, this is not like Mega Man at all, but what they have on display was very much more fun than I could have ever expected. The visual elements remind me a ton of Dead Space, with some nods to Vanquish, and while it's a bit more on pace with Dead Space, it's really unlike most games I've played before. Pragmata wasn't something I thought I'd love, but I came away pleasantly surprised. The graphics are looking really good, especially some of the scenes from later in the demo. Pragmata, just to recap, was first announced in 2020 and has largely been absent. You might remember this as that interesting trailer where the astronaut showed up in Times Square with some random girl. That's right, it's been 5 years since that deliciously weird but awesome trailer first hit the internet. We haven't heard a ton about the game. Capcom has dropped a trailer here and there, but the last few months they've been bringing it back, and now that I played it, I can say that it's shaping up quite nicely.
There you are. All better.
You patched me up.
While I'm showing gameplay, it's obvious how some of it works, but let me lay down why the control scheme is a bit more interesting than you might think. You jump with X, hold X to hover, dodge with R1, hold O to heal, L3 is run, and RT is shoot. All of that is pretty standard. However, if you aim at an enemy while you're using Hugh's input commands, Diana's hacking minigame pops up. Diana will use the side buttons, X, triangle, circle, and square, to navigate to the final node, and upon hitting that node, expose more vulnerabilities in the robots that you're fighting. Later, we would discover something called hacking nodes, which would further enhance the additional damage you can do depending on how many of these you stack before you complete said minigame. This is all explained in a very short 15-minute demo, but it gives me a lot of hope about the layers that could be added to the Pragmata meta here, and I'm excited to see where Capcom takes us. The main gameplay loop was basically this. You're given a new area to explore, you look for secret ways to traverse that area, or a puzzle to unlock the next section, and then hop into combat, or you have to fight a combat section to solve the puzzle. Combat can be brute forced with just the main character, although you'll do a significantly lower amount of damage than if you utilize Diana. Diana doesn't fight, but she does make the enemies weaker and more vulnerable to your attacks. At least she didn't fight in our demo. The exploration aspects are actually kind of fun. You can jump and hover a little bit. There were some platforms you could interact with. Really, the section we got to play was all about exploring, escape hatches, fighting enemies, and then completing a minigame using Diana's abilities to unlock one of several nodes on a grid. But of course, there are a ton of enemies blocking your progress along the way. We faced walkers first, which will walk towards you slowly before unleashing a sharp blade to swipe at you with. Big sort of fat orb enemies who have the same lumbering attack method, flying drones, and a final boss called the Sector Guard that combined a lot of the mechanics altogether, but was a lot faster than the others, giving me my first semi-challenge in the demo. And I have to say, once they actually test you and what you've learned, it can be quite fun. The Sector Guard, triggered by Idas, the base administrator, can shower the battlefield with mines that you'll have to quickly dodge out of, and he can dash at you and had a lot of health you'll need to whittle down. Thankfully, while we were doing these hacking minigames, we were able to expand our arsenal a bit. The grip gun you start with will always be there and act as your pistol for the duration of most battles. You get 6 shots before needing to reload. We also got to grab the shockwave gun, which was by far the most powerful, especially at close range, but it had a long reload time and limited ammunition. Paired with that, we had the stasis net, which would hinder movement by casting a large orb around enemies that make them move a lot slower than usual. So for this final boss battle, I would hit him with the stasis net, start the minigame with Diana, and then unleash on his glowy orange bits with the shockwave gun. The loop was really fun, but the demo was way too short. This is probably what they're going to be using for their Gamescom sessions, so they need it to be turnkey. However, I will say that I really loved what I got to play, and I can't wait to see more about Pragmata. This was just enough to get me interested, and I honestly can't wait to see more.
Neutralize? Us?
Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way through. Get ready.
Are you excited about Pragmata? Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, baby. We did it. This is how we say good job.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you liked that video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you would like to see more. And while I have you, if you would like to support, please consider supporting over at patreon.com/SaveStatePlus or by becoming a YouTube member. Huge shout out to Chris Ferretti, Phil Aroni, Aries EMS, and Shane Carroll. I'm going to get out of here, but check out one of my other videos because I've got a lot coming out this week, so don't miss a thing. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.